Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Great to be back. Great to be back. Good to see you all for this Saturday afternoon down here in Australia. Saturday afternoon for you guys. Friday evening, but probably very early Saturday morning for at least some of you. Good to be back. People may be wondering where our Friday night uh, Aaron Patterson podcast went. There's some delays going on in the background that have nothing to do with ping. They got nothing to do with me. If I could bring it to you, I would have, but it just seems like this week there was a lot of stuff going on in the background that was delaying certain things, and I don't expect that to get any better going forward. I think I will eventually be able to do it, but right now I cannot. And when I can do that, I don't know. So just at some point that'll happen. So um yeah, we'll get it done. But we're sort of in that decline right now with the trial. It's sort of we're in that downhill run to the finish line now. So even in the last week, there wasn't a ton of what I would consider like brand new information, anything like that. It was presented in a different way. Obviously, it comes from the judge, Justice Beale, but it was. I'm not. I don't think much of it was different to things you hadn't heard already. So I don't expect that to change much either as we head into this final stretch on Monday. So if you miss that on Monday, it'll be a few more hours of the charge to the jury. Then it'll be the ballot, probably most likely. So the jury will get balloted. Then they'll go into being sequestered and deliberations and all that type of thing. So we are right at the finish line for this trial now. So you can barely understand me? Hey, so hopefully that is better. Hopefully you guys can hear me a bit more. Okay, hopefully that's better. It is a little hurry up and wait till the end. It is a little bit of hurry up and wait till the end. Yes. SP Mama says, "Hey, good to see you. Good to see you." He's foreign. That's right. You can't understand my Spanish. That's right. Good to see you all, though. Yes. So we are very close to the end of this. Very close to heading back to our sort of normal life. So we'll be going back to doing these sort of shows at least for a little while. I am looking for a new trial, but so far I haven't really seen anything that I really want to, you know, put all the time into to do and go to the courthouse every day. Not yet, anyway. Haven't found anything I really like, but that could change. That could change tomorrow. So we'll see. Hey, good to see you all. Hey, Chipmunk. Tharvy's here. Julie Miller, SP Mama, Natasha, Sean, Rachel is here. I Hate Mornings, Francesca, Video Reel, Chipmunk, Lindy, Mr. Dan Yee, Texas is here. Natasha. Who else? Wendy R. Mama Mia's here. Mimi is here. Who else is here? Blaze made it. Nana Lana. Marjorie made it. Hey, Marjorie. Kathy Lynch. Kathy Lynch. I don't know. Neither of them, Mr. Danny. Neither of them. I think they'll both just implode. Both of them if they fight. All right. That's a long time away though. I'm talking like something in the next month or two. So a new trial for like the next month or so. Not like a year away. But yeah, we have trials for next year. So already we have two on the books for 2026. But yeah, looking for something else for 2025. excited for when the verdict happens. Me too. Me too. If we get a verdict, you got to understand we may not. It's possible that we get a hung jury, that the jury can't decide. They are all possibilities. So I was having a look into some of the laws for Victoria. If by so chance we get a hung jury and the jury can't come to a verdict, as far as I know, we would still be required to be under the sub judice contempt laws. So even if we somehow, if the jury gets if it ends up being a hung jury, which is a possibility, we would not be able to talk about stuff from the trial. Yeah. I was looking this up last night, and apparently that is a real thing. So it's only if you get a verdict. It's only if you get a verdict, and this is because they might retry it. So the DPP may they might try to do another trial, and they don't want that one being wrecked with the reporting from the first one. So on the chance that there is all chances are equal right now. Guilty, not guilty, hung jury. They are all equal because we don't know what the jury might do. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, that's the laws. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think mostly for the laws in the courts are almost identical. There's a few different things in a couple of different places like Queensland and WA, but I think they're mostly the same. All right, let's get into it. So you may know of Jennifer. So Jennifer vanished from her Orlando apartment almost, it must be getting close to 20 years ago. This might be 19 years. I think it was 2006. She just vanished from her apartment or condo, and they never found her. So she's never been located. They don't really know who might have done it. There's been a few theories over the years, and there's been a little bit of CCTV. You'll see it in a minute. Is this like CCTV of a person of interest that is walking past sort of like this gated or like a fence type thing, and you can see them as they walk on the outside of it. Her father is now saying, after speaking to the FDLE, that his daughter's case is no longer or is not a cold case. So he's saying that there is active investigation into his daughter's disappearance going on right now, which is great news. That would be amazing if we could get some movement in this particular case. But let me play the update for you, then we'll talk about it.
For Kesse's 44th birthday.
She is the Orlando woman who was reported missing almost 20 years ago from her South Orlando condo on Conroy Road. She still has not been found, but as Gail Pascal Brown tells us, her parents have received some new information from investigators. And Gail, you spoke with her father tonight?
Yes. And first of all, he wants everyone to know that he's so thankful to the public for helping them for the past 19 years, giving them clues. So keep it up. He also says the family's very excited about what the lead investigator has shared, but there is a lot of work to be done.
It's great news to us. It's great news. It's better than sitting here saying, well, what are they doing? Are they doing the right things? Because they've never done the right things before.
Drew Kesse and his wife got new information Monday from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement regarding their missing daughter, Jennifer Kesse.
All we need to know as parents is that the right things are being done now by the right people to try and find our daughter.
It's been almost 20 years since the 24-year-old Orlando woman vanished from her condo. It was January 24th, 2006. Days later, her car was found parked about a mile from her home, and this grainy image of a person still remains a mystery. Her father says the lead FDLE agent in the case in Orlando provided some key information.
The people of interest list has shrunk considerably, and they are definitely on a trail of something, is what they're telling us. Secondly, Jennifer's case is no longer considered cold.
Thirdly, he says FDLE was able to find evidence that was never tested.
Overall, things are moving forward. I heard it in their voice. They're excited, and they truly believe that they're finally doing the right things for Jennifer.
Drew Kesse says he knows now the Orlando office is 100% working on Jennifer's case now.
I think Jennifer does have the best opportunity of being found right now, for good or bad. I don't think Jennifer's coming home alive, but we need to find Jennifer, period.
Today is Jennifer's 44th birthday. Is that correct?
It is. And you know what that makes me?
What?
Old.
Her father is still having a laugh, even in, very awful circumstances. Like they said, there has been some ups and downs with Jennifer's case over the years. I know at one point her parents were really upset at the local PD who were supposed to be investigating her case, but basically they felt that they hadn't done a very good job and sort of put it into the too hard basket. It was just basically like, oh, it's cold, let's just push it over here and not worry about it. And then there was a bunch of drama about that. And the father, I think, ended up taking her case file from police. And then I think now the FDLE are involved, and it seems to be there has been some movement on her case, which would be amazing. It's been almost 20, next year will be 20 years. It has been far too long. 20 years, and this woman just vanished off the face of the earth. It's almost incomprehensible. It really is. How do people just disappear and then never find them again? Yeah, I'm going to try find you some other updates from it. Active again. Yeah, so that's great. If that could be, if they could find Jennifer, that would be like a really good news. I would like that. Here. They also set up a new email address for tips in the case for anyone who might know anything. So
Amanda, thank you. We do have an update this morning on the search for answers in the Jennifer Kesse case. She has been missing now for just over 19 years. Now, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is offering a new way for people to come forward with tips. It is an email address, and we have it listed there on the bottom of the screen. And Jennifer's dad, Drew Kesse, is joining us live this morning to talk more about this. First of all, Drew, so nice to see you. Hope you and Joyce and Logan and everybody's doing great.
We are. Thank you so much, Amy. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, my friend. So let's talk a little bit about this tip line and this email address. Any little thing, I know that you and Joyce feel very strongly about this, any little thing like this could potentially help, could lead to finding Jennifer.
Correct. Yeah, we truly believe that. We have been fielding leads for 19 years, to be quite honest with you, and we still get them on a weekly basis. It's absolutely incredible. And I think that FDLE finally said, well, why is everything going to the Kesses? We need to get it into our hands first. So it took 19 years, but I think it's a smart deal to give people the opportunity to speak up in any way, shape, manner, or form, right to the authorities.
Drew, because it has been 19 years and a lot of people, of course, come and go from a city like Orlando in that time, would you mind just sort of going back, taking me back and refreshing our viewers about what happened to Jennifer and what we do know about her case?
Sure. Back in January 2006, Jennifer went on a 4-day trip with her boyfriend down to St. Croix. She came home from that trip, and her boyfriend and her had a long-distance relationship. She came back from Fort Lauderdale from his house straight to work on a Monday morning. Went to work, came home that night, called us. She was in great spirits. She had a great time on the island. And on January 24th, 2006, Jennifer did not make it to work. And we got a call very early from her work saying that she did not make it. And from that point to this point, I have to say that we really don't even have a direction of Jennifer. She has literally just disappeared.
Yeah, and Drew, and some things about the case that have just been so frustrating, not only for your family, but for law enforcement. And one of them is this video of the person who took Jennifer's car, and that video of him walking down the sidewalk. And in every frame that the surveillance camera took of that area, it's covering the face. I mean,
Yeah, it was some really bad timing when this camera was shooting and taking these frames. It's as the person is sort of walking in front of an object that's hiding their appearance. And I'll show you an example here. So you can see as they walk past this sort of gated fence, every time they walk and this thing takes an image, they're being covered up by the fence itself. It's just one of those horrible, you know, coincidences of how the camera was working, how the person was walking, and the timing of it all. If it had been a slight second before or after, we might have had a better look at who this person is, which is a real shame. But it is one of the only bits of video that we have related to the case at all.
I feel like there's just things like that about the case that have just been so frustrating through the years.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've tried all through the years to try and enhance that. That film that everyone sees, that was enhanced by NASA 2 days after we found the film, and it's never been able to be enhanced after that point. And it's frustrating. It's the luckiest person in the world, if you ask me, to be behind that fence. But hopefully someday something will create tech-wise, and maybe we'll be able to see a better face from that person.
And Drew, there have been some documentaries about Jennifer's case and some persons of interest or people that, you know, have been potentially on the list or a short list of who they think may know something. Right. Any more updates with any of that?
Well, I do know that it took 17 years for Jennifer to finally get an earnest investigation, and FDLE has had it in their hands for 2 years. They are truly doing their due diligence now. I know for a fact that they've spoken over 60 people, interviewed them. All the evidence has been put back into to see, you know, if anything more can be gleaned from it. I don't know the results of that.
Yeah, like you said, the FDLE's only had it for a couple of years. Before that, I think it was Miami PD, and there was a big fight between the family and Miami PD at one point. I think that's the right agency. The family was unimpressed with the investigation that had happened into Jennifer disappearing. They thought that the police department that had the case at the time basically sat on the case and just didn't do anything with it and weren't invested in solving it, no matter what they said to the public. And they actually came out and did a couple of press conferences where they're like, no, we're dedicated to solving Jennifer's case. But the family thought otherwise. And it's great now that they believe that the FDLE is actually getting somewhere with the information and the file and reinvestigating evidence that maybe, like they said, wasn't tested before. If we could get some answers, that would be just great for her family, for her dad, and to find out where Jennifer went. There's been a million theories over the years. Was she taken out to swampland? Was she, you know, there's been all sorts of theories about people. So let's see. We'll see. I hope so, because it's one of the enduring sort of big cases in true crime. When I started in true crime, I knew about Jennifer. It was one of the cases that, captivates your mind, and you look into every angle of it and then still come away with nothing. You come away with nothing. There's no answer here. There's nothing you can sort of look at and say, okay, that's why that happened. There was a bunch of rumors. There was people working on the condos at the time. There was rumors that maybe some people that were working on the condominium, maybe they were involved. There was some other people. I know people blamed her boyfriend at the time. I believe the family thinks he's not involved. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. But if I remember correctly, they believe he had nothing to do with it. But that may have changed. Things change in investigations. But as far as I thought, he was not considered a suspect. Yes, not in the toilet, whatever that means. You're checking your hearing source, man, but the battery had fallen out. Well, that would explain why you couldn't understand me. That would explain a lot. Yeah. So hey, I'm always happy when we get better news to old cases that haven't seemed to gone anywhere in a long time. I was trying to find more of that CCTV. Yeah, it was Orlando PD. That was the original agency. Here, here's that video. So there's that original CCTV. It's not great quality. You got to remember it is 2006. So almost 20 years ago. And you see that person, and you see how it sort of jumps with the frame. And here's the footage that everyone remembers. But as they walk through, you can see their face and features are sort of covered up. Yeah, it's really sad. The one camera that was anywhere near it, and this is what we get. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna open this here. Give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna change this. There we go. So if we sort of scrub through it, let's see if it'll do that. There you go. So each time that takes a photo, they're behind a thick part of that, like the poles in the fence. See? If they were just like 1 second, either way, in a slightly different timing, you might have got a good view of them in the middle of that gate. But you don't, unfortunately. As the frame, yeah. It's like one of the worst bits of luck ever. So you can see him walking through, and that's all we get. Yeah, there we go. There you go. That's all you get. Yeah, it's sad, because maybe could have figured it out a long time ago had we had a little bit more detail who this might be. Retired said, it's nice to be on a live with you again. You've been mostly on the replay crew lately for Aaron's trial notes. Yeah. What? No, I didn't. I think you had yourself blocked. I think you blocked yourself. I think that's what happened. No one has been blocked here. Hey Jojo, how are you? Good to see you. That's a guy? You guys think it's a guy? I mean, pretty good odds that it might be a guy. They do make up 50% of the world's population. I mean, the odds are in your favor that it might be a guy. But yeah, you don't get a lot of detail. And then on that last frame, they walk past this plant here, and that obscures their details too. There's a plant right at the end here. And then they're gone. And that's all we know of the person who is connected to Jennifer's car and how it got a mile from her home and then she disappeared. I've heard some people say they think this is someone in like overalls, like someone who might work as like a laborer or, you know, construction or something like that. And they might be wearing overalls and a t-shirt or something. I don't know. I think it's hard to tell with the quality of the video, but oh well. You must have done something. Must have done something, Mr. Joe. Painter's whites? Yeah, that's what I've heard someone saying, like it could be some sort of overalls or something like that. By the way, I did order a new chair, so we don't have the squeaky chair anymore. Get this. I heard from them yesterday because I was like, hey, what's taking so long? I'd like to pick this up and get my new chair. They're like, oh, it's been delayed. It's going to take between 2 and 4 weeks for them to get it into their distribution center. And then 2 weeks after that for it to arrive at the store so I can go pick it up. So they're saying, oh, it may be delayed between 4 to 6 weeks, a month and a half for a chair. Like, why is it that these stores don't keep anything in stock anymore? That it's like they basically have to order it from the factory when you buy something. It's crazy. You can't just walk into anywhere and buy anything anymore. So it was supposed to be 1 week. They told me 1 week, and yeah, it's going to be a month and a half. It's crazy. So you're going to have to put up with the squeaky chair for a little bit longer. Muffin doing new designs? I hope not. The delays are ridiculously long. I know. A month and a half for them to get the new chair in. Yeah, I was really mad when they told me. I was like, what are you talking about? You advertise 1 week on your website when you sell it to people. Isn't that like false advertising? No, it's just off the shelf. I just bought it from a website. I went to a website, saw a chair I liked, and I purchased it. And it said it'll be at the store, so I could pick it up in 1 week. And now I emailed them after a week, and they're like, "Oh, just checking on your order. It says that there's a delay. It's going to be delayed by 4 to 6 weeks to get it to the store," which is so they're saying like August. So August is when I might have it. It's insane. Never heard of anything like that. It's the same. So you may have heard Mrs. Ping is coming home. She'll be home next week. So I told you guys a while ago that we had to buy a new bed because of some of her rehab and things like that. She needs more support in the bed, right? So we had to buy a new bed. We went to 5 or 6 different places looking for a bed base. So we bought a mattress from somewhere else. We were looking for like a bed base to put the mattress on. Went to 4 or 5 different places. Same thing. They're like, oh, if you order it today, it'll be 1 to 2 months before it'll be available. And we're like, what do you mean 1 to 2 months? And they're like, yeah. So you order it, and in 1 to 2 months, we'll have it for you. And that wasn't at one place. That was at like 4 different places we went to that they were like, yeah, 1 to 2 months when you order it. We're like, what do you mean? Like, how do you even have stores? Like, how do people buy things if I can't walk into a store and hand over money and walk away with something? Isn't that what stores are? That you're supposed to exchange money for like items? How is it that you have stores now that you pay rent on that it's like I can come in and give you money, but you can't give me the item? What is this? Like, what kind of commerce is this right now? It's insane. I have no idea. It's crazy. So yeah, we actually in person visited 4 or 5 different places looking for a base for it. They all said the same thing. 1 to 2 months before they would have it. Luckily, we found somewhere that had stock of a bed base, but it wasn't until we went to like a bunch of different places to. And these are not like places that sell other items. These are places that specialize in beds, like sort of like your. I don't know what you call it in America, but like we have a one called Captain Snooze and bed whatever, and these are like specific places that only sell beds, and they can't give you a bed if you give them money. It's insane. Never heard of anything like it in my life. K-Cat, how are you? Kat says, I used to see Jennifer's mother's car at the hospital where I worked in Tampa. It had Jennifer's picture and info on it. Yeah, I think in the other video her dad um here, can I show it to you again? There was here. Is this the car that you saw? This goldy colored silvery gold. You can see it here. It has a photo of Jennifer and then it has her name and how long she's been missing for and a tip line. There you go. There's one of the vehicles in the background. There you go, Sean. So no supermodel for you. Jelly Tot says 10 weeks to get a bed here, Ping. Yeah, I've never heard of anything like it. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who found the same issue. Luckily, we did find one, and we found a mattress and things like that. So we actually got a koala mattress. So if you've ever heard of koala, sort of like in America, you guys have a company called Purple, sort of like Purple, but different company. But yeah, similar design. Gail said everywhere is the same. You order in store after trying the store model, then they have to order it from XYZ. It's bizarre. Ping doesn't understand how that works. I just want to go into a place where you pay money and get an item, not have to wait. Like, what if you needed a bed tomorrow? How can you wait 1 to 2 months for it? It's bizarre commerce. Bizarre. How close was the construction to? I think like in her condominium, either in her condominium or the one next to it. Hold on, let me double check. Very close, very very close. I can't remember if it's in her one or the condo next to her one. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, so it's January 24th, 2006. Investigators initially believed that Jennifer was abducted. As she walked from her front door to her car, they now believe that she left the condominium complex and was abducted at some point on her way to work. So let me just want to see if they have anything about the construction. Yeah, here. Jennifer's family, Jennifer told family members on several occasions that construction workers constantly catcalled, whistled at, and harassed her. Due to the language barrier, investigators were unable to interrogate many of them, and no other leads regarding them were discovered. but I wanted to find out where that was. Yeah. Someone's probably posted in chat, but I can't see. It was at her condo complex. So there was construction going on at her complex. So there was ongoing renovations at her condo at the time of her disappearance, and that she had reported that she had been sexually harassed by the workers, catcalling, yelling out, sexual remarks, that type of thing. So, yeah, I find that strange that no one in the Miami Police Department, I'm not sure if it's Miami-Dade or Miami PD, but no one that works in the Miami PD speak another language. I find that hard to believe in Florida. I find that almost impossible that they wouldn't have someone that works there that speaks a second language. Texas said, did she really leave her building? That's one of the unknowns. Originally, they thought she might have been abducted from her apartment. That was, I think, the original theory, that someone had nabbed her from inside. But then they said it's possible she did leave, and then someone grabbed her just on the outside of the apartment. Could be. Joe says the apartment across from hers was empty. I'd guess she was pulled into that apartment and carried out somehow in a container. It all happened very quickly. Yeah, well, they don't know. It could be. I don't think they even know that. At least from the details I have here, they say, here. They're just saying that the original theory was she was taken from at the inside of the apartment, but now they're saying on her walk to her car. So there we go. Yeah, I'll play the rest of the video for you with her dad.
Investigation, and FDLE has had it in their hands for 2 years. They are truly doing their due diligence now. I know for a fact that they've spoken over 60 people, interviewed them. All the evidence has been put back into to see, if anything more can be gleaned from it. I don't know the results of that, but Jennifer is getting her due diligence right now. I know it took 17 to 19 years so far, but it's just the way it happened. But she is getting what she deserves now, I believe. And we have great hopes that we can at least find a direction in which Jennifer went. We're just looking for a piece of Jennifer at this point, I believe.
And Drew, any kind of tip, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how small, insignificant you think it might be. Again, you send it this email address. It's on the screen. And Drew, I'm looking at it right now. If you wouldn't mind, could you just read it out for us? Are you able to see it, or do you have it off the top of your head?
I have it. Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's long, but it's OROC cold case tips at fdle.state.fl.us. Again, that's OROC cold case tips at fdle.state.fl.us.
So in the information here, in another article, they say here that they believe her car, when they did locate it about a mile away from her home, that they believe it was wiped down, that someone had wiped down the car of fingerprints and anything that could identify the person who may have been driving it. That is insane. Here, I want to read that bit to you. Yeah. Detectives interpreted that valuables left inside the car had implied that robbery was not a motive in the case. A search dog tracked a scent that led from her parked car back to her apartment complex, prompting detectives to believe that the suspect might have returned to her apartment's parking lot after abandoning her car. No other evidence was found along the route. A forensic examination of the car yielded little in the way of evidence, only a latent print and a small DNA fiber. Investigators deduced that the car had been wiped down. The following items are known to be missing: her cell phone, her iPod, her keys, her purse, and her briefcase, and the outfit she was wearing. And they're saying authorities were unable to ping her cell phone. Its power has remained off. Her bank account keycard has not been used since her disappearance. So, yeah, her boyfriend at the time had an alibi that checked out, that eliminated him as a suspect in her disappearance. And here, apparently they took her computer for forensic examination that revealed that a manager where she worked desired a relationship with her, but that she had refused his advances because she opposed workplace relationships. Detectives interviewed this manager multiple times, but ultimately ruled him out as a suspect. And they said here that her family and investigators remain open to the theory that she fell victim to human trafficking, but consider it less likely than other theories. So there you go. Yeah, here. In 2018, Jennifer's parents filed a suit against the Orlando PD to gain access to police records on the case. The lawsuit was settled in March of 2019, allowing the family access to 16,000 pages of records. And in December of 2022, it was reported that the investigation into her disappearance had been turned over to the FDLE Cold Case Unit. And they said here that they had been working to try and retest evidence in the case. So, yeah. On May 20, 2025, the FDLE announced that they had gone through thousands of pages of documents and had also spoken to about 45 people since the case was turned over to their unit in December of 2022. They have also announced that they have identified several persons of interest in her disappearance and have stated that the case is no longer considered cold. Well, that is great news. Great news. If they can even narrow it down to like 3 people, that would be much further than they've gone in 19 years. That would be a great thing, a great thing. Hey, Penguin. The kids are playing Magic the Gathering? Do kids still play Magic? That's pretty cool. Hey, Penguin, good to see you. Oh, my stomach. Hey, stomach, we can eat later. What was this? Where is Donalano? Oh yeah, Laura T has been around. She's been on some of the Aaron Patterson podcast note shows that we've done. She often pops in the morning. Yeah, she's still around. Joe Neal says Ellie knows they probably won't be able to track maybe they could have. I mean, if they've been on the run for 20 years, they probably feel pretty comfortable that they're not going to be caught anytime soon. I mean, no one's even got a name of who might have done this right now. So they are probably sleeping pretty soundly, even though we would like to change that and make them very, very nervous. That would be a good thing. I think the main thing would be to actually find Jennifer. I mean, charging someone, yes, would be a great thing as well, but just finding out where she is and being able to bring her home, to give her a proper burial, that would be a big thing. Let me see. I'll go here. I wanted to see if we had the anniversary video. We can go to WFTV.
Woman who disappeared without a trace almost 20 years ago on what would be Jennifer Kesse's 44th birthday today. Police telling only Channel 9 there are persons of interest in the case. And take a look at some of our coverage from 2006.
We're hoping that there'll be somebody out there.
Organizers used a grid system and went to work.
Just a little snippet there. 9 Investigate Shannon Butler has been following her case since the day she disappeared, and only she spoke with Kesse's parents following this update.
I spoke to the Kesses yesterday as they were getting ready to celebrate her birthday, the 19th year without her. She would be 44 today, but instead her parents will celebrate without her. It never gets easier, but I shared with them what FTLE has told me about their case, that it's no longer considered cold. There was a moment, although brief, of hope that maybe, just maybe, they will get some of the answers they've been looking for. Some hope tonight for the parents of Jennifer Kesse.
We feel at least the case is moving in the proper direction, and who knows what can happen from here. It just takes working.
And we broke the news to Drew Kesse that FTLE does not consider her case cold anymore.
Do you know they're no longer calling it a cold case?
No. Shannon, you're killing me.
Jen Spears told Channel 9 in the 2+ years she's been working on the case, agents have done 45 interviews and are testing evidence that had never been tested before and retesting some more, keeping where all of those possible leads could lead to themselves.
Anything significant, or you don't know yet?
In order to protect the integrity of the case, I'd like to just leave it at that we are reevaluating some evidence to test new and retest.
And the only real clue in this whodunit has been this, a surveillance video showing what police believe is a suspect in the case, the face covered by bars in the fence, not giving police a clear look at who it could be.
Is there any technology that would help us with that video?
So that's what he's talking about. Potentially, we could look at potentially AI could help in that.
I think if you used AI to try and remove the bar on that video, the problem is the video is so degraded and it's not very good quality. You might be able to do this if you had like HD video or 480p type CCTV. But with something that's so like the definition is so low on that image, how would you know that whatever the AI makes behind that bar is actually what is there? It's hard because AI is going to fill in that gap with what it thinks should be there, but who's to say that that is actually what that person looks like? So I think it's like it might work, but who's to say that that's actually the real person behind there, So I would have concerns that that would even work at all. All right. Good news in Jennifer's case, the fact that it's no longer cold, the fact that investigators seem very, happy that they're getting somewhere. You heard the interview with them just then. They seem quietly optimistic. What they're getting at seems to be good leads and good information and good evidence. So fingers crossed that her dad can finally celebrate a birthday of his daughters, and know the answers to what happened to her. That would be a good birthday. All right. I want to take you to Australia, and I want to show you a story from yesterday or the day before. A teenager was at a gathering in Queensland and stabbed the owner of a home to death. He is a owner of a multi-million-dollar company in Australia called Universal Store, and he was killed in his own home. And I want to show you the video from this.
A party to celebrate the school holidays turned into a crime scene. Police were called to the property in Clayfield around 8 p.m. They arrived to find Greg Josephson, co-founder of clothing giant Universal Store, dead inside.
Quite a confusing scene and confronting scene when police arrived.
Police located a 15-year-old boy known to him in a nearby street. The teenager has been charged with the 58-year-old's murder.
We can confirm that he is deceased as a result of what appears to be a stab wound.
The close-knit community has been rocked by the news.
It's very, very tragic. Yeah, very tragic.
I'm shocked and actually I'm very upset, a bit devastated that something like this could happen in such a, what I would have thought, quiet, refined neighbourhood.
Police say dozens of teenagers were partying at the home when the incident occurred.
This is a tragic incident and that will affect the family, the community as a whole, and other young persons who are at the house at the time, who are assisting us with inquiries, and were not involved in the situation at all.
Some of the teens were taken to a nearby police station and asked to recount what they'd seen. Their parents were called and the teens sent home.
Well, support's being offered to those people.
Today, forensic crews continued to comb the house for clues. Greg Josephson had remained a director of the Australian retail giant Universal Store until 2018. The brand has 80 stores Australia-wide. A company representative has expressed condolences to the family. The accused teenager was not in court today when the matter was heard. He was transferred from the watch house to hospital for treatment for minor injuries. The case is due to be heard again in September. Molly Slattery, ABC News.
So from what I understand, the police said the weapon or item that was used to kill the man was found inside of that home. It's not like the kid brought a knife in to the party and then stabbed the guy. The item or whatever was used was found within that home. And they're saying that it was a confrontation that went wrong between this 15-year-old boy and this man. So it's crazy. 15, and he is now facing murder charges. He will next have his appearance in September. So he's got a bit of a wait in jail. Yeah, let me find more about it, Squeaky chair, good work. Yeah. So the victim's name is Greg Josephson, and he's the Universal Store co-founder, and he killed. Here we go. That's not him there. That's a different guy. That guy's from Iran. They're saying here, new details have emerged about the party in a ritzy Brisbane suburb where a wealthy retail entrepreneur was allegedly stabbed to death by a 15-year-old. They're saying Greg, 58, was found dead in his Clayfield house in the city's north shortly after 8 p.m. on Thursday night. A 15-year-old was arrested at the home. He was later charged with 1 count of murder. They're saying here, the Courier Mail on Friday reported that the 15-year-old called 000 and was arrested in a nearby street. Neighbors who spoke to the publication said partygoers were desperately trying to leave the party. They were just like, we want to go home and we're not allowed to leave. They were devastated, according to the neighbor. They said the party was so quiet that they did not realize anyone was at the home. They said it was extremely quiet. I wouldn't have even known that there was a party going on last night. They said here, according to the acting assistant commissioner, Reese Wildman, said police allege a household implement was used during an altercation between the man and the teen. There was some sort of altercation that resulted in this 58-year-old male tragically losing his life. It's not a case of carrying knives. Unfortunately, it is allotted in the home. There's a photo of Greg there. Yeah, there you go. It was allotted inside the home. I've not heard that wording before, but universe. There was another bit of CCTV that came out today. Here we go. Mystery over alleged teen killer's activities at a cafe just minutes before he was arrested over the alleged murder of the Universal Store founder as cops scour the business for clues. Yeah, so apparently this is some CCTV. They're saying this is the killer, the 15-year-old boy right here, and that he was in this store, had squeezed his way past this bin, a lot of rubbish bins here, and then placed them in front of him like a barricade. Yeah, the killer appeared smartly dressed in a button-up shirt and pants as he proceeded to squeeze his way into a narrow rubbish area at the back of the venue. He then appeared to create a barricade by moving several bins in front of him. Police arrested the 15-year-old about 8:15 p.m. after he called 000. He was refused police bail and had been taken to hospital. So he was at the back of this cafe. That's the home where the murder took place. But he was at the back of this cafe and then was hiding and then barricaded himself in the area with the rubbish bins, and they're not sure why he was doing that. So hiding, I guess so, yeah. I guess that's what he was doing. I'm guessing. Yeah, go here. Yeah, so that came out this morning that the cops are still searching that area, apparently. Yeah, I'm going to take you to 7 News very briefly. If it'll play. So there's the CCTV there. There's him in that bin area. And then he tries to move things. Yeah. There you go. CCTV shows the teenager accused of killing Greg Josephson. Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, I want to get the full video. Hold on. Should be on the QPS website. Queensland Police. Not there. Seems like that's the only one we can access right now. Okay. There you go. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing. Just hiding, I guess. But then why call 000 to get the police to come to you? Almost like he was in fear. Like someone was going to come and get him. I'm not sure. But apparently when he was in this area, barricaded behind here, he called the cops and told them to come to him. So... yeah, he rang the cops after killing him, yeah. When he was in this location, by the sounds of it. I don't know. Looks like he's left the property. The property's down the street. And then he's in this area. There you go. I got no idea why he would do that. The teen is understood to have sustained a hand injury in the attack, according to the Courier Mail. So apparently that's why he is in hospital. Let's see if the Courier Mail knows. There's police investigating that cafe. You can see the forensic people. Yeah, it's understood the teen had an injury to his hand after the alleged stabbing. Probably slipped on the knife. So that happens to a lot of people when they stab someone. The blood often gets on the knife, and when they use the knife, it becomes slippery, and their hand ends up going forward, and they grab the blade, and they get injuries to their hand. That is pretty common with this type of crime. Yeah, calling the cops himself is a bit odd. I agree. Maybe. I mean, he's only 15. He's only a 15-year-old kid. What happened inside that home will be, I don't know if we'll ever find out, because the person who's been charged is under the age of 18. I don't know if we'll ever find out what truly happened inside that home, or why he felt the need to pick up an implement and stab Greg and kill him. No idea. But they're just saying a household item was used in the alleged attack. So there you go. So here's a photo of the family here. There's there's Greg in the background there. He is the victim, and here is some more underage people, and I'm guessing this is his wife here in the yellow top. Yeah, that's his wife, Tamara, according to the caption. There's another photo of husband and wife. So there you go. Yeah. Do you think maybe he was telling the kids off, or, maybe they're getting too rowdy and some sort of argument broke out? I don't know what would cause a 15-year-old to stab a 58-year-old in a home where it's supposed to be like a fun gathering with each other, right? It's supposed to be a fun time, hanging out, partying. 58. Fear? Could be fear. You might be right. Let me see if I can find one more update to this for you. But yeah, this was on all the breaking news during the week. What does Sky News have to say? Yeah, all right. All right. Let me take you to 7 News.
In Brisbane. Live to our reporter now, Liam Bland. Liam, this alleged murder played out while up to 30 young people were reportedly at this property.
Tash, police were called to the Clayfield home at around 8 last night and say many of the partygoers were unaware of what had unfolded inside. The 15-year-old was arrested nearby, and he's since been charged with 1 count of murder as a domestic violence offence. Police say he knew his alleged victim, 58-year-old Greg Josephson, a prominent Brisbane businessman and the founder of well-known Australian clothing company Universal Store. Detectives have described the scene as chaotic and are continuing to take statements from teens who attended the party. Here's what officers had to say earlier today.
It's distressing for the family, it's distressing for the community, and for the innocent people who are at their house who had nothing to do with it. So all possible support's being offered to those people, and I would ask anybody who needs support to reach out accordingly.
Forensics crews have spent today examining the scene, searching for clues as they work to piece together what happened in the moments before the deadly altercation. The accused killer fronted court late this morning. He didn't apply for bail and is set to return to court in September. Tash?
Liam Bland, thank you.
Pretty brutal. 15 years old, now is in lockup. He'll be locked up until he goes to trial. Most likely, I can't see that he would get bail if they've already refused it. I mean, he can try, but chaotic, yes. That's the word they use to describe it, yeah. Yeah, I think some states in Australia are working to up the age of criminal responsibility. Victoria was one of those places. They were going to up it to the age of 14, I think. But after the recent spate of youth crimes in Victoria, they're not doing that anymore. They've backed off upping that age because they've already got a problem with youth type crime, break and enters, knife crime, all these other type of robberies and stuff like that. So they've sort of stopped that campaign for now. Sean says 1 of 50. Thank you. 1 off 50 likes. Okay, well I hope so. I know it's not Aaron Patterson, but I hope people still support the channel. By the way, like my friend Kathy Lynch did earlier, I appreciate that, Kathy. It's very kind of you. People like Kathy are the reason we're able to do the trials that we do, because they're able to support the channel on those links in the chat. So I appreciate it. Hey, Moonlight View. What's up, my friend? Yeah, I agree with you. You're on 2 screens? Okay. Yeah, there is some differences, but all right, let's keep going. What else have we missed? What else have we missed recently? Let me check my list of things that we haven't done. Okay. Let's head to Click to Houston.
18 utility workers in the hospital, and a Magnolia man is in jail tonight after investigators say that man shot the worker while he was in the middle of a job.
It happened on Rustic Lane near 1488 in Magnolia, and that is where we find KPRC2's Bryce Newberry live tonight with the very latest. Bryce?
Daniela and Keith, crews have been working to install fiber optics here in this neighborhood, and they've had access to different right-of-way areas. We understand that this victim was doing his job when all of this happened. We don't know a motive, but that 19-year-old worker ended up shot multiple times. On Rustic Lane in West Magnolia,
The worst we have to deal with is snakes and critters or dogs that are loose.
neighbors had to deal with much worse Tuesday afternoon when the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office shut down the roads following multiple rounds of gunfire.
It was like pop, then pop, pop, pop. And then I heard sirens like maybe 10 minutes later.
19-year-old Briley De La Cruz Rodas got shot several times while on the job, installing fiber optic cable in the neighborhood. Some of those wires appeared to be left behind Wednesday after investigators say a man living at a home on this dead end, 53-year-old Keith Matthews, got into some sort of argument with the worker and opened fire.
This kid's job, it really probably kind of sucks because he has to go to people's yards often because utilities and homeowners aren't always so nice.
Hours before the shooting, this neighbor who didn't want to be identified says the crew had been on her street doing similar work.
The young man got very defensive and pretty rude.
She had questions about where the cable box got installed near her property, but says the crew directed her to call their supervisors and the utility company. She considers the violence that later followed down the road excessive.
No one deserves to be shot for something like that.
And at last check, the victim is in critical condition, still recovering in the hospital. The suspect is being held in the Montgomery County Jail with a $200,000 bond, charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We did reach out to the companies that neighbors say are connected to the work going on here in this neighborhood, but so far we have not heard back. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that at click2houston.com.
Well, there you go. Apparently, installing fiber so people can have better internet can get you shot. This guy really took some sort of offense to this guy trying to give him better internet and decided to shoot him. That is, I don't understand why people do that. They're saying Keith Matthews is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after allegedly shooting a teenage utility worker multiple times near a home in the 19,000 block of Rustic Lane at 1:19 p.m. on Tuesday. It's Briley Rodas, 19, was shot multiple times while he was on the job installing fiber optic cables, according to investigators. They're saying neighbors reported hearing at least 4 gunshots and said crews with AT&T had been working in the neighborhood for several weeks to install the underground wires. They had to access various parts of rights of way to complete the job. According to the probable cause court footage, Matthews got into an argument with Rodas and another worker, allegedly yelling, throwing cables, and spraying pepper spray before pulling out a handgun and shooting the teenager at least 3 times in the back. According to court records, Matthews shot the teenager, who was unarmed, 5 times and yelling that he was trespassing on private property. What? I think some people need to understand the rights that utility companies have. There's things called right of way, and when utility companies need to fix things in your area, they are entitled to come into certain parts of your property to undertake that work. So you can shout about private property all you want, but as long as they're not wanting to go into your backyard or whatever, most of the time they're allowed to. That's yeah. I'm very, very happy the kid is alive, but only just. Apparently, the teenager is recovering in hospital, sustained injuries to his spine, spleen, and diaphragm. During his first court appearance, Matthews could be heard multiple times saying he has never been arrested before when answering questions the judge asked regarding a court-appointed attorney. Well, if you don't want to be arrested, don't shoot people out the front of your home. I mean, what else do you want us to tell you? Some people. Yeah, I want to see if we can find any more on Mr. Matthews. Oh, we have a mugshot. I always want a mugshot of people. Here he is. There's a mugshot of him. Let's see what else we have from KHOU.
And we're learning new details about a shooting in Montgomery County where deputies say a homeowner shot a utility worker. This happened yesterday afternoon on Rustic Lane, just south of FM 1488 in Magnolia. Within the last hour, deputies tell us the homeowner, 53-year-old Keith Matthews, was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Now, investigators say there was some type of disturbance between the homeowner and the 19-year-old utility worker who was installing fiber lines. Now, we're told as the situation escalated, Matthews shot the young man multiple times. Still no word what the dispute was all about. Matthews is being held in jail on a $200,000 bond. The worker remains hospitalized.
There you go. That kid is lucky to be alive. shot like 5 times in the back, hit his spleen, his spine, and his diaphragm. He's very lucky to be alive. I mean, yeah, he does look like a get off my lawn type of guy. And that's what he said to the worker. So I don't know. You can't shoot someone in the front of your house, right? And then when you're in custody in front of a judge, act like a bitch. Like, oh, I've never been in custody before. Then you're such a big man with the gun and shooting people, and now you act like a wimp in front of the judge. Come on. You can't try to act like a you know, like the big man with the weapon and then shrink in front of the magistrate when they're telling you about what's going to happen to you. Come on. you, you know, you got to live the life. You want to shoot people, going to have to be tough in front of the judge too. You can't be crying in front of the judge about how you've never been in custody before. How about settle your disputes with people with your words? You know, if you don't want them on your property, call the number. They would have given you a card that says, call our supervisor if you have any problems. They do that here as well. Like if they need to do water work or gas work or telephone work, if you don't like what they're doing, they give you a card and say, call the number. So, yeah, he probably just wants to do his job. I mean, I'm not saying not saying that it's his attitude is wrong or anything, but you can't be shooting people either just because they're rude to you. So, same thing, right? But yeah, that guy in front of the judge, you heard it. I've never been in custody before. Well, don't shoot people. Don't shoot utility workers. I'm sure there's probably a list of people that you could probably go out and shoot that are, utility workers probably far down the list. There's probably a whole bunch of other people that are way further up that list of your priorities than the guy trying to give you fiber internet to your home. So, Chipmunk said, had the incident not happened a month later, yeah, I hope he heals up fast. I don't know if he'll ever do it again. He might be too scared to go into people's properties. I don't know. I don't know if you can opt out. I don't know if it's possible. In some places, you can't opt out. It's sort of like you have to let them complete the work. Even if you don't use it, you still have to let them complete it. Let's see. What does the sheriff have to say? Sheriff says, on June 24th, 2025, approximately 1:19 p.m., Montgomery County Sheriff deputies were dispatched to the 19,000 block of Rustic Lane in Magnolia. They say preliminary investigation indicates a disturbance occurred between the resident and the utility worker. The disturbance escalated and the homeowner shot the utility worker multiple times. Crazy. Interesting. It's nice that we seem to have people. Do you see this in the comments? This guy arguing that this is a stand your ground case. I don't know. To stand your ground, I'm pretty sure you have to prove that the person is a threat to your property and your you. So I don't know if you could say a utility worker is a threat to your life or property. Be interesting if you could try with that defense, but I Hate Morning says he might have just been short with them because they have an average time to finish the job. Probably, and every second property is like asking questions or stuff like that. They can't go on private property though. I think right of way, there's certain parts of your property like near the front that they can. Chipmunk said it's still nice to ask or let people know you're there or will be coming there. I moved into the country. Big difference with utility people here than in the city. True. But you see people in the comments talking about how they will, and they say they will shoot people. You will have to take on what you can. And he says, in the eyes of the law, again, if someone is being irate on my property and I ask them to leave, yeah, see, and I'm in fear of for me or my family being injured, I will use lethal force, which I'm allowed to do so under state law. Yeah, proving that you were in fear or that there was a threat to your family. That is the element of the law which you would have to prove in a court of law, which it would be quite difficult when someone's like, I was trying to provide them with internet. And the guy's like, I was so threatened by that internet. It was going to give all my children TikTok. I couldn't let that happen to my children. I couldn't let them become infected with TikTok. So I shot the utility guy because it was a threat to our family. Sean said, mine was electricity, which cuts off medical devices. I don't know. I've never heard of Magnolia in Texas, so I don't know what the area is like. If you cut my internet, the kids are going to kill me. Stay away. That's right. I don't know. Magnolia. I don't know. I've never been to Magnolia in Texas. Let's have a look. I know it's near Houston, but that's all I know. So this is Magnolia, the area. What is it near? Let's play the game of what is it near. It's okay. It's northwest of Houston, so northwest of the big city. So it's up here in the more somewhat rural area. Somewhat. They got a church. They got 3 churches. Okay. Look at this thing. Your building estates out in America are insane. Like in Australia, they'd be like this big. Like what you see on the screen now, like this little section. This would be like a big building area in Australia. And then you move out and it's like huge. Like the size of a like the size of a suburb. It's got to be like 500 houses here. Crazy. Your building developments are quite large. And then you got old school type housing in the other part of the city as well. There you go. Wait, what was the lane? Rustic Lane. Let's see if we can find it. It's not over here. What are we looking for? Rustic, right? Rachel Lane. That's not the right one. Let's see, is it up here? Dogwood. I may have gone past it and everyone's like, it's over there. I don't see it on my map, but They do have a lot of lanes, though. Yeah, I don't see it on my map. It's probably there somewhere, though. There you go. So it's over here. That's where it is. The little red section right near Houston. Okay. All right, let me pause that. Yeah, I will show that for everyone. Hold on. Kathy wants me to show you the utility worker. Yeah. There's the utility worker working on the traffic lights. Let's see what happens. Seems like a... Oh, that looks... Well... What a dumbass. We had something like this happen to us not long ago, where a truck almost wiped us off the road because it was just doing whatever it wanted. It was like, I'm going to merge into this lane when there was a car in the lane, our car. And it was just like, I'm going to merge. And we were like almost crushed by this truck until it finally realized that, hey, there's a car next to me. Like, some people, although some truck drivers are very, very good, they do a great job and they drive really well, very experienced at it. But there's some people that drive trucks that are just, they shouldn't be driving them. That is really crazy. Oh, that poor guy. Jeez. Could have been killed. He's lucky, you know, the harness. He's wearing like the harness to strap him in. That's what saved his life. Almost guarantee it. Because if he didn't have that, he would have been killed. He probably would have fell from that height and it probably would have killed him. Yeah, that harness saved that guy's life. He would have been dead otherwise. So what happened to the truck driver? Now I want to know what happened. Yeah, let me find out. Let's go to ABC 7 in Chicago. There's that footage. They're saying harrowing moments were caught on a dashcam video in Louisiana. A utility worker was working on a traffic light, not knowing that a semi was headed right for him. And they quote here the director of transport and drainage in Baton Rouge. I don't know how that truck could have made that turn without hitting one pole on one side, without hitting the truck. The truck was making a wide turn onto Range Avenue at I-12 in Denham Springs when the top of it bumped the bucket, flipping the man upside down. Bumping is not the word I would use. Bumping is not the word I would use when I watch that video. Crashing into is probably more the word I would use. That doesn't look like a playful bump of the bucket. He just smashed right into it. All right, hold on. Yeah, I would say that that is not bumping into. Yeah, that's not bumping into. That is smashing into. And they say here, yeah, so they're saying that the harness saved his life. Yep, you can see it in the video. He's hanging upside down. He would have just been tipped out of that bucket otherwise. They're saying Bill Atkinson, who gave the video to WBRZ, said, what I was most surprised by was that there were no signs or lanes blocked off and that the other workers were in the truck in the air conditioning. Yep. There you go. It doesn't say what happened to the truck driver. The truck driver doesn't say. Doesn't say what happened to them. but the worker had minor injuries and went to hospital. But the police say they are investigating the incident. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they were saying that they don't always block off lanes, and it just depends whether they use it or not. So all right. It is dangerous driving. Well, at least it's not paying attention to your surroundings, because you'd have to know how high your truck is and that it could probably hit that bucket. So, well, we'll see. He may. He may. They don't say what happened to the truck driver. They're just saying that they are investigating. That's it. Yeah, the Department of Transport are investigating. That's it. So, no idea what's going to happen to the truck driver. All right, let me see what else I got on my list of crimes that we haven't covered because I've been at trial. Let's see. Okay. Let me see if we can go to California. This is a good one. Okay. Yes, this is a good one.
Hi, I'm Kash Patel, and it's my honor to serve as the 9th director of the FBI. Each May, the Bureau joins our nation in commemorating Police Week. It's an important time to honor the extraordinary courage and commitment of our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, and to recognize those who have laid down their lives protecting the communities they served. In my time as director, I've made a call to every chief or sheriff whose department has lost an officer to an adversarial action in the line of duty. And although I've only been in this position for less than 3 months, I've already made far too many of those calls. Every line of duty death is a tragedy of justice. That they might be targeted just to pay is so important. It's an opportunity to express.
Hold on. Hold on. That is not the one I wanted to watch, but it is a good one. Hold on. Yes, I want to go to KTVU, Fox 2 in San Francisco.
Well, loved ones are just devastated not knowing where she is, and Oakland police and the FBI say she may be the victim of sex trafficking.
Here's a picture of my daughter, my only child.
Tamisha, an Oakland woman who didn't want her last name used, is full of anguish. Her daughter, Heaven McGee, disappeared in January and hasn't been seen since.
Heaven was a genuine person who would never leave her family.
Tamisha, her twin sister, and other relatives and loved ones turned out at a news conference at the Oakland Police Department to plead for help from the public. Heaven was 20 when she went missing. Her 21st birthday came and went in March. She hasn't been making TikTok videos or shopping, cooking, or spending time with her friends.
To those who spent time with Heaven, she relied on you, and you relied on her to be that someone to help me and those who love Heaven find her.
Oakland police are working with the FBI to find Heaven, whom they believe is a victim of human trafficking.
Human trafficking is a brutal crime and preys on the most vulnerable and isolates victims from those who care about them the most.
Sanjay Vermani, special agent in charge at the FBI in San Francisco, says Heaven's family is in turmoil, not knowing where she is.
All right, let me take you to the actual press conference for it. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Acting Deputy Chief Nicholas Calange, Nicholas Calonge. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to give an update on the case of missing person Heaven McGee. The Oakland Police Department is working closely with the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the hopes of bringing McGee safely. Case of missing person Heaven McGee. The Oakland Police Department is working closely with the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the hopes of bringing McGee safely home. It has been just over 5 months since she was last seen. Heaven McGee is a 21-year-old black woman, approximately 5 feet tall and weighing around 140 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. When last seen, she was wearing a white jacket and brown pants. Her mother, Tamisha, who is here with us today, last saw her on January 17th in Oakland. McGee was seen again on January 20th in the city of Stockton and has not been seen or heard from since. On January 26th, Tamisha reported her daughter missing to the Oakland Police Department. Since then, the OPD, the FBI, and other law enforcement partners have followed leads and searched here in Oakland, in Solano County, and in San Joaquin County in an effort to find her. I want to thank the men and women of the Oakland Police Department, especially our detectives in the Missing Persons Unit, who have worked tirelessly on this case as well as our many other missing persons cases. McGee is a daughter and a friend, and her family misses her dearly. I want her family, our community, and anyone that can hear my voice to know that we have not given up or forgotten about her. We will continue to pursue credible leads and to utilize our investigative resources to help bring her home. The OPD cannot do this alone. We are asking that anyone who knows of McGee's whereabouts or has seen her to please forward that information through our partners with the FBI. No detail is too small. Any information can help. With that, I'll turn it over to FBI Special Agent in Charge, Sanjay Vermani.
Thanks, Chief. Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. As Deputy Chief Calange mentioned, we are asking for the public's help in locating Heaven, who has been missing for over 5 months and who we believe is a victim of human trafficking. I want to begin by recognizing and thanking Heaven's mother, Tamisha, and her family who are with us today. Your strength, your perseverance, and your love for your daughter are deeply moving. We stand with you, and we are doing everything in our power to bring Heaven home. Since the earliest days of this investigation, the FBI and the Oakland Police Department have been working closely, combining federal and local resources to find Heaven and bring those responsible to justice. Our teams have conducted multiple searches in the Stockton area, guided by cell phone data and other investigative leads. While these searches have not yet yielded the results we hope for, we continue to pursue every possible tip and lead and take every logical investigative step. Based on the evidence gathered in this case, we believe Heaven was being trafficked and is the reason while she was in the Stockton area. Human trafficking is a brutal crime and preys on the most vulnerable and isolates victims from those who care about them the most. The FBI investigates these crimes as one of our top violent crime priorities and leads a task force, which includes the Oakland Police Department, to combat this scourge on society. The FBI is offering up to a $10,000 reward for information leading directly to Heaven's location. We are asking the public, especially anyone who lives or frequents in the Stockton area, or anyone who may have seen or heard something out of the ordinary in January, to come forward. Even the smallest detail may help us move this investigation forward. Heaven is more than a missing person case file. She is a daughter, a loved one, and a young woman who deserves to be found and brought home to her family. If you know anything about her whereabouts, please contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip online.
So I'll play a bit more in a second, but the information that I have here is that Heaven has been missing since earlier this year, January 20, 2025. She has tattoos. One is the words Aaron Pryor above a red rose below her left collarbone. And they say she also has unknown words just above her left and right collarbone, and at least 4 butterfly tattoos on her chest and sternum, and possible Chinese characters on her left forearm just above her wrist, and the words Darius the Third, stylized like, like 111, on her right forearm on the posterior. And she is described as a Black American female, 140 pounds, 5 foot tall. She has brown eyes, black hair, and she was born in California on March the 4th, 2004. And they unfortunately do believe that she is a victim of trafficking. So many of these missing person cases, people are like, oh, they're a victim of trafficking, and then it never ends up being anything like that. Well, here you go. Here's a real one that really they do believe it is possible trafficking. So there you go. No, how old is she? Well, she was born in 2004. It is 2025 right now. That would make her 19. So, at least I think so. Is my wait, 2004? No, she'd be 21. Sorry, Ping can't count. Ping apparently can't do maths. So she's a young woman, young. So yeah, born March 4, 2004. So yeah, so she would be 21. Just turned, actually, if it's in March, she would have only just had her birthday a couple of months ago to turn 21. So, oh, the tattoo is unknown. Yeah. Unknown words. Yeah, that's what they're saying. All right, let me play the rest of this from the FBI and Oakland PD.
At tips.fbi.gov. You can remain anonymous. What you share could make the difference in bringing Heaven home. The FBI and the Oakland Police Department remain steadfast in our commitment to Misha.
I'm sorry. My name is Tamisha. I'm the mother of Heaven McGee. Here's a picture of my daughter, my only child. She disappeared out my life in January of this year, never to be seen or heard from me or her family since January. I know it's someone that with a heart that can help me find my daughter. Heaven was a genuine person who would never leave her family. Heaven loved shopping. She loved, of course, making TikTok videos. She loved cooking. She loved spending time with her friends. And this is not becoming of her. To those who spend time with Heaven, she relied on you, and you relied on her to be that someone to help me and those who love Heaven find her. The city of Oakland is giving $10,000 to anyone who can help us find my daughter. I will never stop searching for my baby until I know exactly where my daughter is. Me and the rest of the family will be highly appreciative of the person who leads me to my daughter's whereabouts. I thank you for listening. I thank you for caring. Also, I would like to thank you in advance for your time, your support, and your effort relevant to networking and locating my daughter. Once again, thank you to Oakland and the surrounding cities at large for all your help in regards to helping me find my baby Heaven.
It's very hard to listen to her mum get up there, and very, very difficult for her to get those words out. You can tell she misses her daughter very much. I would like to see this case be covered by a lot more YouTubers to provide that support from the true crime community. It just feels like, sometimes these cases are just swept under the rug because they're not, mystery enough, or they're not fun enough, or they don't have a hook that people want to investigate online. But at the end of the day, there's a mum out there that's missing her daughter, and they need the help from everyone. So they need anyone who can use their platform to try and get the word out there about Heaven. It'd be nice if they did so. That's why we have these channels, right? To help people. So let's see. Yeah, I'll take you over. I want to show you the FBI page for her. So this is Heaven Desiree McGee. She's from Stockton, California, and last seen 20th of January 2025. There's a photo of her. There's a few others that we can look at too. There's another one with her hair done in a different way and a different profile shot. There's a slightly different look of her. And there's another sort of look of this girl. Hopefully, someone out there has seen her, but the circumstances surrounding her case are very, very horrific. If true, if they prove this to be correct, it's like every parent's worst nightmare. Let me go here. Yeah, believed to be a trafficking victim. That's what they're saying. They're saying the FBI announced a reward for help finding an Oakland woman. She's from Oakland, not Stockton. Oakland, who went missing in January and is believed to be a possible sex trafficking victim, according to the Oakland PD. She's been missing since January 20. Police said McGee's mother last saw her on January 17 in Oakland. She was then seen in Stockton on Jan 20 and has not been seen since. The Oakland detective Bradley Sides said the area where she was last seen in Stockton was a commercial corridor. We know that someone in that area saw something, whatever the detail is, however small it is, it could aid us in our investigation. According to the FBI, they said evidence has led them to believe she is a trafficking victim, and it is the reason why she was in Stockton. McGee's mother reported her missing to the Oakland PD on January 26. The FBI said she has ties to Oakland, San Jose, and Stockton. She's 21 years old, a black female, 5 feet tall, and about 140 pounds with brown eyes, black hair. She was last seen wearing a white jacket and brown pants. And then she does have those tattoos that I read out before. One, the words Aaron Pryor above a red rose that is below her left collarbone. She has unknown words above her left and right collarbone, and at least 4 butterfly tattoos on her chest and sternum, and then those possible Chinese characters on her left forearm just above her wrist. Then the words Darius III on her right posterior forearm. And they're saying anyone with information is asked to call the FBI or submit a tip or call the Oakland PD. The FBI has a reward offered up to $10,000 that helps in finding Heaven. Here's those numbers, by the way, for the FBI and the Oakland PD. So I hope someone out there can help find her. Bring her home to her mum and dad. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up for the night. It is late at night for most of you. We've been on just shy of 2 hours. By the way, I want to thank my friend Lynn. Thank you so much. She says, thank you for covering the trial. She said she's found it interesting and she's glad Mrs. Ping is coming home. Thank you. And I will pass on your love to her as well. Thank you, my friend. It is very, very generous and kind of you. Very sweet of you. Thank you very much. It'll help out a lot. Hey, Woman of Steel, how are you? Her mum is brokenhearted. Yeah. Francesca said, thanks, Ping in chat. Good to see you, my friend. I'll be back tomorrow night for another late show. And then on Monday, we're back at court. So Monday in Australia, Sunday night for you guys. We will be right at that point of the jury going into deliberations. So that'll be Monday afternoon. Yeah, so about this time on Monday, we may be in our first part of either jury being sequestered or deliberations. I don't know if they're going to start at the same time. I have no idea. But we should know more by this time on Monday. So a couple of days from now. So, hey, Woman of Steel, how are you? You are welcome. You are welcome. Julie Miller, thank you. Could be. Time always flies by when you're watching. It does. It does. We've already been on for about 2 hours. Yes, thank you again to Lindy. That's very, very sweet of you. I appreciate it. And to Kathy Lynch. Thank you to you both. And to Sean. Sean says hit the like button. Yes, if you could. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it. The stuff coming up after the trial, I think everyone is going to be very interested in. So, and if you want to know the verdict for this trial, if we get a verdict, if you want to know that before anyone else, you should hit that subscribe button, because that's how you're going to get a notification to know when a verdict is in. When a verdict is in and I've heard it in court, I'll be online on the live stream within seconds to tell everyone else what's going on. So there you go. Yeah, I heard that there was another guy, Sean. Yes, I did hear that, and they don't know why he was stabbed. Yeah. All right. Hey, Texas. Good night, my friend. Good night. I hate mornings. All right. Retired Irene. Good night. Rachel, good to see you. Hey, Jojo. Good night as well. All right. Love you all. Have a great day out there. I will see you tomorrow for another episode of The Late Late Show. Good night, everyone. Remember, keep an eye out for Heaven. If you're in California, in any of these areas, keep an eye out for her. And if you do see her, report it to those numbers that are on your screen right now. You might get the reward, $10,000 reward out there. If you can help find her location, could be part of your you could be part of that. So. All right. Have a great night out there. Have a great Saturday in America. If you're in Australia, have a great rest of your Saturday night and Sunday morning tomorrow. And I'll see you Sunday afternoon for another show, another live show. Good night. Bye.